So this match is against Supreme Martis with like 232 stars, and their teammates as well was good players. The match was really fun and even intense. In some points, we were almost wiped out. And yeah, if there's Martis as a jungler, then you all know he is really dominant in early game. So in this match, the same case happened with us. Enemies Martis was kinda dominating to us at the early stage of game, but as the game progressed, we were slowly getting the upper hand. But still, it was a challenging game because his teammates were also not bad. Here, I don't want to fight because Martis' early game potential is really good. And for YSS, it's really hard to mess with like this early game monster as because he is kinda weak at early game. So I told them not to fight. And on top of that, Dirith is also a really good early game hero. But not only that, but other heroes like Brody is also good in early game. So this way, what we understand is that they wanted to end this quickly by dominating every lane at once. I mean, I tried to take some value out of those enemy creeps, but I got discovered, and Audit even used her flicker to shut me down in early game. And after my death, they really used their early game advantages against my teammates as well, and managed to get 5 kills in total. But yeah, YSS with his ultimate is not as good than Martis in early game, but not entirely bad after the revamp. So I finished 2 of the enemies with less HP. So yeah, the question is, what should you do? If the enemies are really good early game monsters and they are actually making use of it, so I'll give you some important tips that some of you already knows, some points. But just keep watching, because there might be some important things that you didn't know before. Tip number 1 is obviously don't fight too much in the first 3 to 5 minutes. But you might be wondering that we are fighting even if it's 3 minutes in the game. I mean, yes, we are fighting because it seemed that the fight was completely in our favor, but even though it was in our favor, we still got the punishment from the enemies. And he even took my blue. That means avoiding fights in early game is a good thing if the enemies are early game monsters. As because even if we had full advantage in the team fight, we were dominated by Martis at the end. Now tip number 2 is to avoid risky invades or overextending in lane. As you all saw, that I tried to take 1 creep from the enemy side in the map, and I got the punishment. So yes, we should not invade unless there is a confirmation if I can steal the creeps and buffs or not. And about overextending, it's really a foolish move to overextend the fights in early game, because you already know that you're at a disadvantage. And tip number 3 is to use turrets as protection. Hug them if needed. Yes, sometimes being passive, just farming and not fighting is actually a good thing. Then to go and fight in disadvantages and die. Tip number 4 is to focus on map. Track the early game monsters where they are rotating and avoid the same rotation if you're a jungler and just focus in farming in opposite lane. Until then, you can constantly remind your teammates by pinging when enemies are missing or invading, and if you're playing heroes like Popol or Selena, then it's a lifesaver by getting the vision without your teammates by placing vision with traps or wards. Tip number 5 is protect your core. If you are a tank player, then let your jungler farm in peace. Because if there's a good early game enemies, then there's a high chance that they will invade your hypers buff. But luckily in this match, they didn't invade much. And if you're fighter and mage player, then you should also help your tank to peel or zone the enemies when needed in turtle fights. Support roles should babysit core heroes like junglers and marksmen. Now tip number 6, don't let them snowball. Don't give free kills by forcing unnecessary fights. Delay the fight if your power spikes are late like Claude, Sicilian, Aldous, etc. And sometimes deny objectives if you can't contest. Sometimes it's better to give turtle than to be wiped out by the enemies. It's not that if you lose turtle, then you will lose the entire game. Instead, you can trade by ganking the opposite side of the turtle and take down the turret. Taking down the turret is more valuable than securing the turtle because our main motive is to destroy the base, not securing the turtle. So if there's no way to contest the turtle, then you can always trade with turrets. And because it opens the map and you will get the chance to breathe and eventually get the control back in late game. So this is how you get back the control eventually. So before discussing about next tip, please like and subscribe, my brother. Because I have been investing more time and efforts in my videos, but still in return, I'm getting only 2 or 3 subscribers per video. Which is absolutely sad, as it hurts to see those work, which doesn't pay off. Where I invested my whole time and double efforts, but anyways, let's go back to the video. Now tip number 7, look for comeback power. Focus on farming for late game carry heroes, like YSS is really good farming hero, and his power spikes can be seen in mid to late game. So just farm and only fight if there is a potential fight, or just avoid fights till the mid game. So now that your power spikes can be seen in mid to late game, so now your work is to win fights after enemy power spikes drop off, like Martis power spikes starts to drop in mid to late game, so take the full advantage of that thing. And what if the enemies are completely dominating to you that you can't even farm well? So in this case, you should prioritize split push and give the map pressure to the enemies. And wait for the enemies to be cocky and make mistakes, so that you will get the opening to kill the enemies and also be alert at the same time. Let's talk about tip number 8 after this team fight, because this fight is kinda interesting to watch.
YSS का डेट
क्या ये वो आप क्या ये अरे oh no
And now tip number 8 is all about drafting before the game starts. If you know they're picking early game monsters, by looking their picks then, just get one early game hero to support your teammates in early phase of the game, so that they will not dominate you entirely. Like here, Lapulapu is the go-to hero for that, and you can even pick the scaling heroes like Frederick, which can give the hope and can turn into late game where your teammates' damage is a pure destruction. So the next time you face those early game monsters, don't panic, just play smart, survive, and scale up. Remember, Mobile Legends isn't just about who's strong early, it's about who makes the best decisions. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, comment your biggest early game struggle, and subscribe for more MLBB tips. So watch the rest video, how we complete shifted the game from disadvantages to a win. I'm speeding the farming part so that you might not feel bored. But for me, I love to watch YSS farming part because it's so satisfying to see his to and fro type of passive while farming.
Ulti मारू हम
yeah nah yeah okay
We nearly were wiped out by the enemies. If I was also dead, then the game would have ended right away.
True warrior never backs down from a fight. Duty honor.
Mistake. Maksudnya wah, ampuh gitu mau. Kira
मारो हमें
Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Till then, stay safe, my guys.